My name is Matt Henderson, and I advocate the Zeitgeist Movement because it's the only thing in my life that has ever made absolute sense to me. It gives me faith in mankind, which I can tell you a majority of people just don't have. Yes, I've always been different. I've always had what my mom called the strangest thoughts. And the Zeitgeist Movement showed me that I was not alone, and that my thoughts weren't all that strange. When I was in my early 20s, my mom and I faced losing my home. I began to wonder how it is that someone could place a price tag on the roof over my head. You have to have a roof over your head in order to survive. You can't build a home without serious costs. Someone even owns that land somehow, and you'd have to pay to use it. I realized that the reality was, if you had no money, you had no roof, and I couldn't understand. The same goes for food. Food costs no matter how you look at it. So say we want to skip the prepared foods in the supermarkets, which cost the most. That means you'd have to go out and harvest the food yourself. If you're like me, that means you're a serious meat eater. So I would have to go kill a cow. Well, someone's going to own that cow in this world. And let's say you found an unowned cow and you had the ability to kill it, then how would you prepare it? Who on this world is left that knows how to prepare food like that? It doesn't happen often. And I realized then that without money, that you can't even eat. And without food, you die. Now, yes, there's welfare and food assistance to help with these matters, but what does that get you in this world but substandard housing and bad quality food? Look around you as well. There's right-wing forces who want nothing more than to eliminate these things as well. The hard fact of the matter is that if you don't have money in this world, then you don't have a life. And that's when I came to one of my strange ideas. Shouldn't some things, the necessities of life, come without a price tag? Shouldn't we be entitled to a few simple things from the moment of birth? Why can't we find a guarantee for all human beings? A guarantee like food, drink, and shelter, and an education, free of cost. I also told my friends I didn't understand banks, and I thought they were crooked. Say you write a check, and it bounces because you don't have enough money to cover it in your account. Well, you didn't have enough money for that, and then the bank goes and charges you a $20 or $30 overdraft fee. Well, if I didn't have the money to cover the initial cost, then how do I have the money to pay for an overdraft fee? And does it seriously cost the bank $30 to look at a check and go, oops, he doesn't have enough money? I shared my crazy ideas with my friends and family, and I received a gambit of negative feedback. I was told things like, it's just the way it is, maybe, but it would never happen, and of course the typical, you have way too much free time, as if thinking is a bad thing. In fact, people seemed so annoyed at me when I talked about these things that I just began to stop talking about them altogether. Then a few years later, when I was 26 years old, a friend told me about this internet movie called Zeitgeist, free to watch online, and I'm really glad that I watched it. It was one of my sleepless nights, and I watched the entire documentary. And it was probably one of the happiest moments of my life because I found out that I wasn't the only one out there that thought the way I did. I wasn't the only one out there who didn't accept things as they were given to them. The system made little or no sense to other people as well, not just me. And then 2 years later, Zeitgeist Addendum was released, and that's when I feel that all my questions in life were answered. I felt my existence was finally justified, and I felt such a rush of clarity. I knew at that point that I had to share these movies and thoughts and ideas with everyone I ever met. So I ask, are you someone like me? Have you ever had a sneaking suspicion that something just isn't right in this world? Have you ever been so confused by everything that you just shut down? Do you have a faith in mankind that tells you that we can do so much better? Do you truly believe that all people are created equal? And as cliche as this sounds, do you really want world peace? If you answer yes to any of those questions, then I urge you with every fiber of my being to check us out. Go to www www.zeitgeistmovie.com and check out the films. There are 3 now: the original Zeitgeist the Movie, and then Zeitgeist Addendum, and the newest, Zeitgeist Moving Forward. If you like what you see there, then I urge you again to go to www.thezeitgeistmovement.com and register with us, and help us to bring a real change to this world. You know, so many people with so many good intentions want to bring changes of many kinds, but those people never quite aim high enough. Their changes are really only band-aids. You can't kill a horse with a fly swatter. The things that need to be changed, the real things, are the things that you'd never think can be changed. And they're at the very center of what makes the world go round. It's such a massive change that it'll only happen when there are so many people in the world that want it so badly that our governments and the powers that be will have little choice but to give it to us. So help us make critical mass and bring mankind into the next chapter of our existence.